update you on all the running stories, and connect you to the newsmakers.
Citi News.
It's midday. A very good afternoon to you and welcome to the Citi Prime News on 97.3 Citi FM. We are live from our studios at number 11 Dr. Martin Loop in Adabraka, Accra. The news is also live on all our affiliates across the country and around the world. We are live on citinewsroom.com. My name is Hawah, Iddrisu, and I'm here with
Kwaku, Aduamah, Ansah.
Coming up, members of the Pensioner Bondholders Forum continue their picketing at the Finance Ministry in an attempt to get the government to exempt them from its domestic debt exchange program, which expires today.
It is not a maturity that we are concerned with. Our concern is the regular income source.
But the Finance Minister, Ken Oforiatta, insists the exclusion of the bondholders from the program will crush the economy. Also coming up, Ghanaian winger Christian Atsu rescued and hospitalized after being buried under rubble for 26 hours. Meanwhile, Ghana's ambassador to Turkey has assured rescued students in affected earthquake areas in Turkey are being catered for.
We have been advised not to go into any buildings, but the Turkish authorities have provided tents temporarily for them to be there. They are being looked at.
Still ahead, we take you to Parliament, where the new leadership of the Minority Caucus has taken their front bench seat ahead of the start of a new session in the House. And later, some residents in the Okaikwe North Municipal to protest the incessant debts associated with uncovered drains in the municipality. All that and more on Citi Prime News, which is also live on all our partner stations across the country. Western region, we are live on Beach FM 105.5 in Takoradi, Bono region, Guina FM 95.9 in Sunyani, Ashanti region, Focus FM 94.3 on KNUST campus in Kumasi, Orange FM 107.9 also in Kumasi. Volta region, we are live on Revival FM 99.3 in Tajeu, Cool FM 103.5 in Ho. Northern region, we are live on Radio Bimbela 91.9 in Bimbela. Upper East, Tanga FM 93.7 in Bolgatanga. Upper West, we are live on Tunsong FM 97.3 in Wa and Jrapa FM 96.1 in Jrapa.
Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
We are grateful for choosing us. Now, the Pensioner Bondholders Forum, who have asked for exemption from the government debt exchange program since its inception, has once again picketed at the Finance Ministry to drum home their demand. The retiree domestic investors held a similar protest yesterday to express their dissatisfaction to the 15% coupon rate proposed by government in the exchange program. The deadline for the program expires today and there will not be a further extension as announced by the Finance Minister. The convener of the Pensioners Bondholders Forum, Dr. Edu Anane, has been speaking to Citi News.
We've been training, I think for the past 9 months, we've been training just towards this day.
If I was receiving 20,000 per annum on my investment of 100,000, and now you say you pay me 15,000 per annum, what help have you given me? You have destroyed part of my life. It is not a maturity that we are concerned with. Our concern is the regular income source. People knew their money was going to be there for more than 5 years. They opted for more than 5 years because they know they can allow their money to be with government for 5 years. So that is not an issue. And the government was going to extend this to 15 or 5. Mine is supposed to mature today, this year. That is where I must get my money. And if now you are giving me 4 years or 5 years, what help have you given me? If I needed a 4-year bill, I would have bought a 4-year note or bond. So that is not the issue. It's not an important issue to us. The critical thing is the coupon. The coupon that you have planned your life around. You know every year you are going to get 20,000. So this 20,000 every month, it means you have about 1,200 or whatever that you will use for your medicine. Now your medicine is gone up. So even that amount that you are enjoying, the 20%, you hope it has gone up to 25 to 30 so that you can meet these expenses. Then somebody says, the 25, I won't give you again. I'm now going to give you 15, which is 15,000. That gives you about 1,000 small money every month. You can use it to buy your drugs. Most of us, the monies that we use to buy the drugs are coming solely from this investment that we have put in government bonds.
So that was Dr. Edu Anani-Enchi. He's the convener for the Pensioners Bondholders Forum. Let's go live to the Finance Ministry and speak to my colleague, Charles Owusu-Kumi. Good afternoon to you, Charles. Thanks for your time. Tell us the numbers today.
Well, Hawah, today's numbers were not the same as yesterday. The numbers dwindled a bit. Today they were about 30. Yesterday they were a bit more than 50. And they tell us that's because most of their members live quite far away from here. So they may not be able to come on a daily basis, even though they plan to do this on a daily basis. Now, basically what they're saying is that even though they've listened to the finance minister make a passionate appeal to the nation and especially to investors to try and help the country revive the economy, for them, they do not understand why their retirees who are most vulnerable are supposed to take cuts and active workers have been exempted in terms of their pension fund. Dr. Aduamah tells me that they have planned their lives around these coupon payments. And so for them, government giving them 15% is not enough because some of them have gone with coupon interest payments of 20% and 30%. And so they have planned their lives around these amounts of money, and they do not understand why they have to take cuts when, in fact, active workers are the ones who have been exempted. They say they are unable to buy medicines now because medicine cost of drugs have gone up, and inflation, because of inflation, they are unable to make ends meet. And so they want complete exemption, and they expect that when their bonds are due, they expect government to make payment. Otherwise, they'll continue to do this picketing on every day until their demands are met.
Very well. Yesterday, when they met, the finance minister addressed them. Has there been any form of an address today by any member or any official from the finance ministry?
No, they were not addressed today. The minister has already said that there won't be an extension to today's deadline. So it was a normal picketing. They did it for an hour. When they were done, they packed up and went away. There wasn't any form of ministry. So,
well, since they have been told there will be no extension of today's deadline, what's next for them? How long do they intend to picket, and what outcome exactly are they looking for? Because the finance minister has said there will be no extension.
So they are telling us that they will continue picketing every day. And every day between the hours of 9 and 11, at least for 1 hour, they'll be there at the finance ministry and make their demands known. If they don't get the extension, they are hoping that when their investments are due, they will be paid exactly how much they bargained for when they were buying those bonds. They don't want to take any cuts. They don't want to be told that there's no money. If that happens, they will come back to the ministry, bring their bags, bring their mattresses, and come and lay there and continue to drum home their demands that government should give them their money. That's exactly what they intend to do.
Very well, grateful for your time. That was my colleague Charles Owusu-Kumi reporting live from the Finance Ministry, where The pensioner bondholders have again picketed demanding an exemption from the domestic debt exchange program, which expires later today.
We're still stay on this subject a while longer because the Individual Bondholders Forum says it will not sign on to government's debt exchange program despite the expiration of the deadline for the program today, February 7, 2023. The government says if bondholders do not sign up for the deal, it may struggle to get a bailout from the International Monetary Fund, that is the IMF, and may also find it difficult to revive the economy. Speaking to Citi News, the convener for the group, Martin Pegbu, indicated that it was still holding a stance for a total exemption.
We are still doing exempt. That's what individual bondholders are doing. They don't want to be part of the debt exchange program. The finance minister should not be allowed to accuse Ghanaians like that. He's going to cause murder. He's going to cause a lot of untold hardship on the citizens of Ghana. We don't want development that brings death. Nobody wants development that brings death. You don't have a country if you don't have citizens. You don't have a country if you don't have citizens. So Article 36+1 says that in developing Ghana, don't crash, don't destroy the livelihood of citizens. And that is exactly what the finance minister is trying to do by doing this intimidation, etc.
Martin Pegbu is the convener of the Individual Bondholders Forum.
Now, economist Professor Godfred Bokpin has stated that government cannot blame individuals who do not sign up for the program for the delay in accessing the 3 billion IMF loan. Now,
necessary to find a way to bring it to 5 years. The question that we have is that if we do not get our economy stable, your 18 or 40% or whatever would mean nothing. So it is crucial that we get this economy stable. It is crucial that we ensure that our foreign exchange issues are resolved so that there is integrity in whatever numbers we put here. And the question that I'm saying is Buami Namensumimbuao, because I need to make sure that the economy is stable.
That was the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta. Now, President Akufo-Addo has made some ministerial appointments, and my colleague, Sami Riafe, who is also the presidential correspondent, joins us in studio. Good afternoon to you, Sami. Thanks for your time. What new changes has the president made?
So the much anticipated reshuffle that we expected the president to make has finally dropped. So the president this morning sent a communication to Parliament, which is in accordance with the Constitution. Anytime there's going to be some changes in the government. So the list is that Honorable K.T. Hammond, the Member of Parliament for Adanse Asokwa, is now the Minister for Trade and Industry designate. He replaces Honorable Alan Chamantin, who resigned somewhere last month. Brian Echampon, the Member of Parliament for the Abetifi constituency, is now the Minister for Food and Agric designate. He replaces Dr. Akoto Efriye. Obi Amwa, or Osebunsu Amwa, who is the Deputy Minister for Local Government, has been elevated to be a Minister of State at the Ministry of Local Government. He's a Member of Parliament for the Ekuapem North constituency. And then Dr. Stephen Amwa, a lot of people call him Steka. He's a Member of Parliament for the Inshaiso constituency. He becomes the Deputy Minister for Trade and Industry.
All right.
And then Mohammed Ami Adam, who happens to be the current Deputy Energy Minister, replaces Charles Aduamah as the Minister of State at the Finance Ministry. And then the President also appointed Mr. Herbert Krapper as the Deputy Minister for Energy, and he replaces Mohammed Ami Adam, who has been elevated to the Ministry of Finance as a Minister of State. The President has also appointed Stephen Asamoah Boateng, the former Director General of SIGA, as the Minister for Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs. He replaces Honorable Kojo Kum, who resigned some few days ago over ill health. So these are the new changes the President has announced in his government.
Very well. Most grateful for your time. Let's now go to Parliament, where the Speaker has been reading a letter from the presidency to that effect. Ni Ayuki Okai is my colleague, and he joins us live from Parliament. Good afternoon to you. Ayu, thanks for your time. What has the Speaker been telling members of the House?
Good afternoon, Hawah. So this is the first session of the third session of the 8th Parliament. And this morning, the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagman, took a seat after members of the House have seated, and he made some pronouncements or read some letters from the President, and he made it known to the House that President Akufo-Addo has written to Parliament asking for the Member of Parliament for Adanse Asokwa, K.T. Hammond, to be considered, vetted, and approved as the Minister for Trade and Industry, and with the Member of Parliament for Shire, so Dr. Stephen Amwa, serving as his deputy. He also made it known to the House that Brian Echampon, who is an MP for Abetifi, has also been nominated to be the Minister for Food and Agriculture, and then Stephen Asamoah Boateng, serving as the Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs Minister. He indicated that Mohammed Amin Adam, who is currently a Deputy Minister of Energy, has also been nominated to serve as the Minister of State as the Ministry of Finance to replace Charles Aduamah. And the Speaker also indicated that President Akufo-Addo has nominated Obi Amwa, who is currently also a Deputy Minister of Local Government and the MP for Ekuapem South, to serve as the Minister of State at the Ministry of Local Government, Decentralization and Rural Development, with a Deputy Trade Minister, Herbert Krapper, also being transferred to replace Mohammed Amin Adam as the Energy Ministry. So this has been a letter read to the House by the Speaker of Parliament, Hawah.
So these nominations are pending the approval or otherwise of the Appointment Committee of Parliament. Did the Speaker read exactly when the committee will be sitting to vet these nominees?
The Speaker indicated that he is referring these nominations to the Appointments Committee, but then they are supposed to set the date for that particular session to be held to vet and then subsequently consider the approval of these ministers who have been nominated by the President.
Very well. Away from that, Nia Yukwe, we know the leadership of the Minority Caucus. Today, Parliament is sitting the first day. What has been the reactions to this new leadership when they took the front seat?
So this morning when Parliament resumed, we saw quite a number of the MPs tripping in from their offices to the chamber for proceedings to begin. And for the former minority leader, beg your pardon, Hawah Iddrisu, we saw him much earlier in the House and expressing some happy pleasantries with members of the House, both from the minority and then majority side, and later he moved out of the House. And we also saw the former deputy minority leader, James also doing similar thing with members of the House. We later saw the appearance of the new leaders, that's Dr. Kessiela supporting together with the minority chief whip, Gavin Kwame, the deputy minority leader, Emmanuel Amakopibua, all of them also exchanging pleasantries with both sides of the House before the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagden, took his seat in the chamber. So it's been a cordial relationship amongst the members, both the old leaders and the new leaders in the House, and proceedings is ongoing currently, Hawah.
Now, people would want to know where the old leadership have been seated. Is it directly behind the new leadership or the sitting arrangement? How has it been done?
So the front bench is for the leaders, and behind them you see the former leaders seated, specifically the former deputy minority leader, James Kulisha, seated right behind the front bench. So he is the one that I have currently cited seated, but for the former minority leader, Hawah Iddrisu, and former minority chief Mohammed Muntaka, although they came into the House to exchange pleasantries, I haven't cited them seated in the House at the moment.
Did the Speaker make any pronouncement on this new leadership front?
So that is after the announcement of the nominations, he moved on to that particular letter that was also written to him by the national executives of the NDC, making those changes. So he was on this while I got in touch with you.
Very well. Please do make sure to keep us updated on whatever happens in the House. That was my colleague Ni Ayukwe Okai bringing us all that is happening in Parliament. Now we understand the new leadership of the Minority Caucus. They have taken their front bench seat. Whilst he also mentioned that President Akufo-Addo has sent a letter to the Speaker of Parliament announcing some new ministerial appointment. This is still the Citi Prime News on 97.3 Citi FM. Still to come, Ghanaian winger Christian Atsu rescued and hospitalized after being buried under rubble for 26 hours. Meanwhile, Ghana's ambassador to Turkey has assured rescued students in the affected earthquake areas are being catered for. We have details of that and other stories coming up shortly. Please don't go away.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Using a condom will protect you and your partner from HIV, STIs, and unplanned pregnancy. Condoms are an effective way for protection against HIV infection. Don't take risks. Use a condom every time. Always come prepared.
This advert is brought to you by the Ghana AIDS Commission and Ghana Health Service.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back. Now, the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, SHRAJ, has dismissed allegations of conflict of interest brought against Deputy Minister of Gender, Children and Social Protection, Francisca Oten-Mensah. SHRAJ received a petition from a private citizen alleging that the Deputy Minister, as the board chair of the National Youth Authority, presided over the purchase of personal protective equipment from the Adonko Company Limited. The company is reported to belong to her father, and she is believed to be a shareholder of the said establishment. The Commission has, however, dismissed allegations on grounds that they lacked merit, as investigations conducted by the Commission and evidence provided did not support the case of conflict of interest against the Deputy Gender Minister.
Now, fire has raised the girls' dormitory of the Erimon Senior High School in the Laura municipality of the Upper West region. The incident, which occurred in the early hours of Monday night, destroyed properties and rendered over 100 students homeless. It took personnel of the Ghana National Fire Service to prevent the fire from extending to other buildings. According to reports, last night's inferno is the fourth to be recorded in the last 2 weeks, after 3 similar incidents occurred at the Hawah Secondary Technical School. Speaking to Citi News, the Upper West Regional Coordinator for the Free Senior High School Policy, Mumin Yusuf, indicated that 170 students had lost their belongings, but there were no casualties. He further stated that due to the trauma of the incident and properties lost, the school authorities had decided to send SHS 2 and 3 students home.
The girls' dormitory got burned, and then that is about 5 rooms together with their store. The store is also burned completely, and all the properties of the students got burned. And the students that were in the place is 170 girls. Out of 430 students, 170 students lost all their belongings. Only that we were lucky, none of the students got hurt. I said their property. The school authority, together with the directory, they met and decided that once the trauma has just occurred like that, they need to give the Form 3 students just 1 week for them to go home and come back. And the Form 2 students, that is the affected students, the 170 students that have been affected, the Form 2 to also go for 2 weeks.
So you heard there the Upper West Regional Coordinator for the Free SHS Policy, Mumin Yusuf, speaking.
27 students of the Aduamah Anglican Senior High School have been discharged from the hospital after over 40 of them sustained injuries when heavy wind brought down the roof of the school's dining hall. The incident happened about 5 p.m. on Monday when students were having their evening meal. In addition, the wind destroyed other items in the school. One of the students with a fracture in the leg has been referred to a health facility at Jamasi for further treatment, while 19 others are still on admission. Here is the Municipal Director of Education for Iddrisu Dumasi, Akwesi Frimpong Haruna.
Around 7 something, that the students were at dining hall and a very strong wind blew. So it blew the dining hall roof off and it affected almost 200 students. When I went to the hospital, the doctor said that they were all in good condition, with the exception of 5 of the children, whose situation were a bit critical, but he managed to stabilize all of them. So as I speak now, they are all in very good condition. Personally, I didn't go to the school to observe. I will go there this morning. Immediately I was told, I went straight to the hospital. So I don't think there will be any serious kind of... they are all in very good condition.
That was the Municipal Director of Education for Iddrisu Dumasi, Akwesi Frimpong Haruna.
Now, the Bureau of Public Safety is urging stakeholders in the Boko conflict to adopt the Daban principle in bringing peace to the troubled community. The comment by the group is in response to a protracted conflict in Boko, which in recent times has led to the death of at least 9 persons. Speaking to Citi News, the Executive Director of the Bureau of Public Safety, Nanayawa Kwada, said the development or the deployment of only military and police forces would not resolve the conflict.
The wisdom behind the approach to Dagon should not be lost on us. That's what I'm saying. It's not about throwing men in military, to Boko. but it's about adopting a simultaneous approach. In Dagbon, while the eminent chiefs and religious bodies and political shots were in touch with the leaders of the factions, the law enforcement agencies were also on the side, arresting and prosecuting, deploying intelligence. And we had a combination of military and police maintaining law and order. Respectfully, that's not what I see in this Kwaku situation. And let me repeat that I am not expecting to see the same action. I'm expecting to see the wisdom that informed the approach to Dagbon come to play in Kwaku.
Executive Director of the Bureau of Public Safety, Nanayaw Akwada, speaking.
Some residents of Bibiani, Zongo and Old Town have called on the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources to audit the operations of the military officers in mining communities. This call comes after the residents clashed with military guards of Asante Gold Corporation, leading to 5 getting injured. Opinion leaders in the community said the mining company was operating too close to the community, hence the resistance from the residents. In an interview with Citi News, the presiding member for Bibiani, Ansah Bekwai, said although calm had been restored, authorities had to ensure the mining company do the right thing.
The problem is that the mine needs to do a resettlement for the community before they commence business. But as it stands now, they are working less than 30 meters away from the community. And the LR required that the minimum should be 500 meters. That's the minimum. It should be 500 meters. So because the mine is mining less than 30 meters away from the community, that escalated the Sunday incident. And it has nothing to do with Galamsey. Yes, as it stands now, we managed to calm the youth and then the landlords come. So there's calmness in Bibiani as it stands now. So we are counting on the minister in charge of mine to come and intervene in the mining issue pertaining in Bibiani, in Zongo and Old Town. But now let me take this opportunity and then appeal to the first minister who should intervene and then should come and look at the situation. The military are violating the law using the Galamsey as a conduit to punish our people. This is not the first time. This is the 4th time this incident has been occurred. So the defense minister to call the military in order so that we can have a smooth community and a peaceful community.
That was a presiding member for Bibiani Ansah Bekwai Municipal Assembly. Kwaku has the next story.
Now, Ghanaian footballer Christian Atsu has been rescued after he was trapped under rubble in a huge earthquake that hit Turkey on Monday, killing thousands. Turkish journalist Yagiz Sabun Koglu spoke on the Citi Breakfast Show this morning and confirmed that the former Chelsea and Newcastle player had been found by rescue teams several hours after he was trapped under rubble. Achu and Hataya Sports sporting director Tana Savut went missing on Monday after a building they were in collapsed following an earthquake that hit Turkey and Syria. Yagiz says the Hataya Sports sporting director is still missing, but rescue team is still searching for him.
As you said, we got the best news of the day from Atsu, and I confirmed it from Hatay board. Atsu was pulled alive from the rubble and taken to the hospital right now. His condition is good, but we are waiting for more good news from Atsu, because after 26 hours he emerged from the rubble, and it's so critical news. Good news, but critical news, because he was in the rubble since 26 hours. Therefore, we're still waiting more good news from Atsu. And also, I have bad news about to Taner Savut, who works for Hatay as sporting director. Taner Savut is still under the rubble. Search efforts is continue. We look forward to it. I hope.
So you had the Turkish journalist Yagiz Sabun Koglu.
Meanwhile, Ghana's ambassador to Turkey, Francisca Ashite Odonton, has confirmed to Citi News that all Ghanaian students who are in the areas affected by the earthquake are safe and are being catered for. Speaking to Citi News, Ambassador Francisca Ashite Odonton revealed that her outfit was putting in effort to ensure the safety of Ghanaians in Turkey.
You know, that place is far, is the southernmost part. It's near the border with Iran. And really, the numbers we have are mostly students, okay? And so we spoke to the leaders, some leaders of the Ghanaian community, and each person has accounted for the people there. In the worst affected places, there's Adana, then there's, they call it Marash, it's a long name, Marash also. Yeah, and then there's Gaziantep. We have 10 students in Gaziantep, they are all accounted for. We have 7 students in Adana, they are all accounted for. And in the epicenter itself, the Marash place, we had just 1 student. And fortunately, she is in Istanbul, so she wasn't there when it happened. So everybody basically, and generally the Ghanaians who are registered with the mission are all accounted for, except Christian Nachu, who I can confirm that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs here has confirmed to me that he has been found, he has been rescued, that he's injured. Trying to follow up to find out how we can get to him or even to talk to him.
I understand that a state of emergency has been declared. Are there any plans to move or evacuate these Ghanaians?
Oh, the Ghanaians, you know, they are providing for them. They have been advised not to go into any buildings, but the Turkish authorities have provided tents temporarily for them to be there. They are being looked after in terms of food, making sure they are warm. Of course, now school is closed. Nothing can be done. So for now, they are there because even we cannot go there. And so we can't even go there. We are just relying on the ministry and, of course, the Disaster Relief and Management Agency to give us information. But for now, they're fine.
That was Ghana's ambassador to Turkey, Francisca Ashite Odonton.
In more news, the National Youth Wing of the National Democratic Congress, the NDC, has condemned comments made by the Swami youth organizer Razak Kwampa, calling on the party supporters to attack members of the New Patriotic Party in the run-up to the 2024 elections. The Ashanti Regional Police Command, in a statement, says it has initiated steps to arrest the Swami youth organizer following his comments. National Youth Organizer of the NDC, George Opariado, while condemning the statement, called on the police to temper justice with mercy.
It's an unfortunate statement. It's not a statement the NDC subscribes to. The NDC is a law-abiding political party. We do not subscribe to violence. And so we condemn the statement. But there is an underlying factor. When he spoke, he also did mention what happened in the 2020 election. As much as we condemn his statement, we should also pay attention to things that happened during the 2020 elections. For instance, in the Petition South constituency, 8 Ghanaians were murdered 2 years after the 2020 elections. On the 7th of December, those atrocities took place. Today is the 7th day of February, 2023. Not one single person has been held accountable. I strongly believe that if the police had acted right, if they had prosecuted anybody, if we had even seen any actions on the part of the police, nobody would get the nerves to even make such ultras. Usually when you mount political platforms, there is something we call busy. I don't know what it is called in English. But then there is that euphoria that gets into your head that if you are not careful, you may end up making statements that on hindsight you regret making them. I can confidently tell you that today, if you call our young man again and ask him to speak in the same way he did speak about where he was with many other young people, I'm not sure he can repeat such statements again. He will definitely show some remorse. As much as we condemn the statement, we will urge the police to temper justice with mercy.
George Opariado is the National Youth Organizer for the NDC.
Let's now go to the NPP, where there is growing tension among members of the party in the German South constituency of the Bono region. The tension follows calls by a section of the party for new executives to be elected while the others disagree. Citi News' Michael Sapo-Infum has more.
The cracks in the MPP in the German South constituency is deepening by the day as two groups within the party are accusing each other of illegality. A group calling itself aggrieved MPP members in the German South constituency of the Bono region, made up of polling station executives, electoral area coordinators and constituency executives, are calling on the National Executive Council of the MPP to address a petition they sent to them to conduct elections to elect new executives for the constituency. The group also noted that if nothing is done about their request, it will be very difficult for the party to recapture the parliamentary seat it lost to the NDC in the upcoming 2024 elections.
As we speak, some people are carrying themselves out as constituency executive members.
Illegal executive.
We wish to state that there have never been any constituency executive elections conducted in German South from January 2022 to now. Consequently, there are no constituency executive in German South constituency. Against the foregoing background, some aggrieved members of the party in German South constituency have written many petitions to the National Executive Council of the party. In a video that has gone viral, the General Secretary of the MPP, Justin Frimpong Kobia, JFK, has indicated publicly that he has received petitions from aggrieved party members in German South constituency. We hope and trust that the National Executive Committee Council would take action on our petitions. We request the National Executive Committee to investigate whether the persons whose names are contained in the purported album submitted to the national office as representing the polling station executives, electoral area coordinators, constituency executives in the German South constituency were in fact publicly voted for in line with the rules and regulations issued by the National Council of the MPP.
Bob.
Yes, upon all these appeals and petitions, it is our candid view that if things are not done right, it will become almost impossible to recapture the seat.
Another group calling itself the duly elected executives of the MPP in the German South constituency have debunked allegations that they were not duly elected. According to the group, they have tried on several occasions to ensure there's peace in the party, in the constituency, but the other group has taken an entrenched position.
We have hold elections here. We have our executives in place. And so receiving a petition is one thing, and acting upon a petition is another. As for petitions, we have written so many of them. If petitions work, if receiving a petition works, maybe we wouldn't be here. So the General Secretary recognizing that he has received a petition is one thing, and acting upon it is another. I'm not saying you will not act on it, but to the best of my knowledge and the knowledge of the people surrounded here, we have conducted a very transparent elections, and we have our executives in place, and that is not even going to happen. Secondly, we have tried every means possible to get our brothers back, because no matter what, they are our brothers. Even though they did the skirt and blouse, some of them some of them want to come back. In fact, indeed, they have come back, and others, I don't know what they are looking for. So we have tried. In fact, a lot of people have intervened, but still, they have taken an entrenched position that they will not come. And there's a saying that if you send 100 sheep or 100 cattle to the bush and one of them gets lost, you have to go and look for him. In the event when you are chasing him and it is not coming, will you stay there? You have to come back and protect the 99. So that is what we are doing.
From Drobo, I am Michael Sapo-Infum for Citi News.
And here in Accra, my name is Hawah Iddrisu, here with Kwaku, Aduamah and Ansah. Still ahead, some residents in the Okaikwe North Municipal Assembly to protest the incessant debt associated with uncovered drains in the municipality. We have details coming up shortly. Please stay with us.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
More. It's something we're promised a lot these days. But what does more actually look like? Well, in Emirates Economy, it's endless entertainment on the biggest screens in the sky plus live sport. That's more. Gourmet cuisine that gives you a taste of your destination, served with free-flowing drinks. That's more. Special meals and toys for kids to keep your little explorers happy. That's more. So whichever way you look at it, more really does mean more in Emirates Economy. Fly Emirates. Fly better.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back. Now, the 3-day-long funeral rites of the late Yagbonra will take place from Friday, February 10, 2023. This follows the burial of the late overlord of the Gonja state, Yagbonra Tuntumba Borisa I, at the Royal Cemetery at Mankuma in the Bole district yesterday. Here is the registrar of the Gonja Traditional Council, Abutu Kapori, speaking to Citi News on the final funeral rites arrangement.
This morning, in consultation with his Council of Elders, the decision has been taken, and the decision was that the 3 days Aduamah, or the 3 days funeral rites of the late Yagbonra, His Royal Majesty Yagbonra Professor Tuntumba Borisa I, has been slated on Friday in the evening after Juma prayers. But before that, on Thursday, per custom and tradition, there's going to be some cultural performances or custom performances at the Japa Palace. Then the next day, Friday, the 3-day funeral Aduamah will be performed at the forecourt of the Japa Palace here in Damongo, the regional capital of the Savannah region.
So beyond the 3 days funeral rites, what are the other things that will follow, and when will that also take place?
In Gonja, we follow custom and tradition to do every aspect of the issue, especially when the king is no more. So as we have gotten the date for the 3 days, it is after the 3 days, the Sonyawara, in consultation with his Council of Elders, who is the regent for now, will also communicate to the general public the 7-day Aduamah, when it will be slated. So for now, our concentration is on the 3-day Aduamah, or the funeral rites of the late Yagbonra.
Abutu Kapori is the registrar of the Gonja Traditional Council in the Savannah region.
Let's take you to the northern region now, because that region has recorded over 70 positive cases of measles in children since October last year, and the situation is worsening as the region, has run out of measles vaccines. So far, the cases have been detected in 4 districts, including Karaga, Sanerigu, Tamale, and Gushigu, where it was first detected. According to Citi News sources, even though there has not been any death as a result of the outbreak, there have been severe cases where children had to be put on oxygen in some health facilities. Sometime last year, the Central Hospital in Tamale had its pediatric unit closed down due to an outbreak of measles. Meanwhile, the health officials in the region are tight-lipped on the outbreak, but in a circular issued by the Regional Health Directorate, all district health directors have been urged to intensify surveillance on measles and other diseases of epidemic potential for prompt action. They are also to conduct prompt investigations and collect blood samples for laboratory confirmation.
Now, more than 280 residents in 6 farming communities in the Ayin-Swano district of the Eastern region have been displaced following heavy rains yesterday. The affected communities are Akokokrom, Kwaboanta Junction, Onakwase, Fautirikosi, and Dokrochiwa. Even though several parts of the region recorded a rainstorm yesterday, the Akokokrom community was the worst hit by the rainstorm. Several houses and other facilities were destroyed, while household items amounting to hundreds of cedis have also been damaged. Citi News understands that church buildings in the community are currently housing the displaced victims. Now, NADMO has since moved to the scene to conduct the assessment of the extent of damage. Now, residents living along the Kum Hotel to High Tension Road in the Okaikwe North Municipality have threatened to embark on a demonstration to protest the numerous road crashes that occur because of an uncovered drain on the stretch. The residents say though the situation has led to several deaths, the authorities in charge have refused to resolve the situation. Citi News' Philip Nilati has more in the following report.
This is an uncovered drain on the Kum Hotel to High Tension stretch. Well, it may look like a small one, but according to residents in this community, it has killed about 5 motorists who are unaware of this particular situation. This place is a very busy road, and according to them, they have spoken about the situation to the various authorities for a very long time, but it looks like nothing has been done about it. Out in the Citi newsroom today, I'll engage these residents and the people that matter in this community and find out from them what they want done about this and how soon it should be fixed.
It's a busy road from Nyamiche down to Kingsby. Okay. This has been a busy road, so if we don't do anything, more death will occur here.
So if you say you are blocking a road, is it demonstration or what exactly are you going to do?
Yeah, that is what I'm saying. We are going to embark on a demonstration. Yeah, for them to understand our grievances, because this has been here for almost about 7 to 8 years. Nothing has been done. So this is what we plan doing.
So with a demonstration, if that one is not also heeded to, or the authorities do not heed to the demonstration, what do you do again?
That means if anyone comes here that you want us to vote for him or her, we are not going to do such thing. So we are planning on a serious demonstration. If they don't work on it, we will still know what to do. Because people here are complaining because a lot of cars have been falling, almost about 5 deaths here. So we are pleading to you guys to at least do something about this for us.
We plan to call the youths around to demonstrate on it, to help them. If it is not the government, at least those higher than us a little, at least have a little to support. To construct this thing, I don't think it's that much for somebody to do. At least one person can help us fix this thing here. So it's something we are trying to do to call the attention of them to fix it for us. That's it's all about the demonstration. It's about 8 years now when this thing was constructed, and we asked them to cover it for us. But all they say is it's not part of their contract.
That's what they say?
Definitely, yes. They said it's not part of their contract. So maybe we like this, we don't know anything about constructing roads and other things. So we were thinking maybe there will be another group that will do this thing for us. But till now, even humans who pass through that have been falling into it. Yes, so how much more the other tracks? But for the past years, that was some years ago, a good Samaritan helped us and then used the slabs to cover it. But it couldn't help us because this main road has become a big road to the extent that big trucks have been passing through this road. So they hit and then destroy it.
Have you reported some deaths here? Have people died here?
My own brother has lost his life through these things. So I lost him, that was 2016 or so. He lost because of, you see, and another thing, aside this road too, there's no speed ramps. And we have houses by then, the kids also running through the road. So it seems there's also another problem with the speed ramps, so they have to help us with the speed ramps too.
This road, since they constructed the road, it has been there for several times, several years, and we have complained about it. I personally went to the contractor to tell him that there's a pit over here which has led to several accidents and deaths on this road. Yes, but always when I complained to him, he said he will come and do it. I even went far ahead to AMA. To complain to them. They told me they will work on it. Up to now, I even complained to the assemblyman who is standing right beside me, and still there's no avail.
Here with me is the assembly member for Aduamah electoral area, which this place falls under his jurisdiction. He is Campus Aduamah. I would engage him and find out from him what the conversation has been so far about this particular situation and how soon it will be fixed. Hello, sir. You're welcome to Citi Newsroom.
Thank you.
What can you tell us about this?
This is almost manhole. It has been there for a longer period of time.
You being their leader in this particular electoral area, what has been the conversation between yourself, the MP, the MC, to ensure that at least this is fixed?
Okay, let me tackle the MC first. MC is the municipal chief executive here. So whatever goes on, we highlighted it to him. And then he told me that it will be done.
Meanwhile, the municipal chief executive for Kwaku North, Boylai, says plans are underway to get the uncovered drain fixed.
Well, the only thing I can say is for them to exercise restraint, exercise patience, because you see, these are things that you cannot, because I'm MCE, I can just go and take money to do it. One, you need to have your thing in the budget. You have to have it in your budget before you can even use money. People doesn't know how the assembly system works. You can't just go dip your hand into the assembly's money and say that because residents are, having challenges, you just have to do things on their behalf. It has to go through process. And I'm saying that this thing came to me somewhere October, and that we are on need to work, for them, work at it for them. Sometimes maybe within a month, we'll be able to do something.
The uncovered drain is just after a sharp curve when coming from the Kum Hotel direction. This makes it very difficult for motorists to see this, and that leads to the accidents leading to deaths. Residents in this particular community have the view that if nothing is done about it, demonstration is their last resort. Reporting for Citi News, my name is Philip Latte.
Now let's take you to the eastern region, where the Odikro of Mami Krobo in the Farm Plains South District of that region, Enoch Soda, has called on the Security Council to relocate all headsmen from Mami Krobo in order to ensure peace in the area. Now the call follows growing tensions in the community after the alleged murder of a farmer by a headsman last week Friday. The incident resulted in the burning of some houses and shops in the Zongo community. Currently, over 200 officers from the Eastern Regional Police Command and the military are patrolling the area to avert possible reprisal attacks. Addressing members of RedSec at Mami Krobo, Odiko Enoch Soda said residents of the community were living in fear.
This is a very difficult situation, but we will urge all family members to exercise restraint and wait on the outcome of the investigations from RegSec. No one should take the laws into his own hands and act unlawfully. Because of what has happened and for the sake of peace, RegSec should relocate the headsmen. The community used to be a peaceful one. Something ought to be done.
Enoch Soda is Odikro of Mami Krobo in the Farm Plains South District of the Eastern Region.
Now, the Food and Drugs Authority, FDA, has advised street food vendors to acquire the FDA street food vending permit. This follows a sensitization exercise by the authority on the street food vending permit as part of its regulatory activities. According to the authority, the issuance of the permit is to help reduce the risk of purchasing contaminated food. Speaking to Citi News, the Deputy Chief Executive Officer of the Food Division of the Food and Drugs Authority, Roderick Kwabena-Dade advised the public to inspect the licenses of street food vendors before buying from them.
We would want the many street food vendors out there that they need to step out and come and do the registration. They have to ensure they get the food, the street food vendor permit. They can do this by going to the process environmental health office. Likewise, also come to the Food and Drugs Authority, and all those we have visited on the field, they should go ahead and do the corrective actions that they have been, told to do.
So you heard that the Deputy Chief Executive Officer of the Food Division of the Food and Drugs Authority, Roderick Kwabena-Dade.
Now, lawyers for the family of Shadrach Alo have served notice of pressing charges against the Ghana Police Service, West Hills Mall, and even bystanders who filmed the scuffle believed to have caused his death. A preliminary autopsy report shows that the deceased had indeed swallowed substances suspected by the police to be Indian hemp. However, private legal practitioner Francis Xavier Sosu tells Citi News the conduct of the officers contributed to the death of the 32-year-old, hence the decision to press charges. And that's how we end today's edition of the Citi Prime News, which has been live from our studios in Adabraka, Accra. The news was also live on all our partner stations across the country. You can log on to citinewsroom.com for more stories. My name is Hawah Iddrisu. I was here with
Kwaku, Aduamah, Ansah.
Netele Nete Ajaho is up next with the afternoon's edition of Citi Business News. Many thanks for your company. Do have a great afternoon.
Citi 97.3. More variety.